Hey guys, it's Steven from RC Engineering. We're going to be talking about the review of the Eachine VR D3s. So this is the Eachine VR D3. It is a box style goggle that retails for about $59 US, shipping from China, from Banggood or other sources. And we're going to talk a little bit about what I thought for this goggles. I haven't released a video in a while because I've been finishing out school. I'm actually done. I graduated a couple weeks ago and then been on vacation. So I finally have a chance where the house is quiet to shoot a review. So let's go ahead and look at a review of these goggles, the standard 11.25 minute review. A lot more content to be coming from these goggles. Pretty much all the content you're going to be seeing on my channel for right now is going to be recorded with these goggles through the DVR. So we have a few to compare it with against their kind of who they're replacing, which is the Eachine VR 006. This is kind of the successor, the Eachine VR D3s. And then the Eachine 800Ds, obviously this is a unbranded, non-Eachine brand 800Ds, because they were known as the kind of the best starting goggles. So I have the instruction manual here, and I have a little bit of stuff from my phone to kind of compare them. Obviously, I'm not that crazy about these guys. I think that these goggles, from right off the bat, are way better starter goggles than these because of the weight. Unless you don't plan on actually using the goggles and you plan on using them for a screen with this 1/4-20 insert here, then yeah, these goggles are nice. If you need this separation to be able to do that, which my dad uses that quite a bit. So here if we look at, it's got some pretty decent specs. So the main thing that I like with these box goggles I look for is that it uses a 1 cell, drops the weight quite a bit, and they've learned a lot since the Eachine VR 006s. So one of the main features that you'll see on here is that it has dual antennas, and I have actually popped it open. It is actually true receiver diversity. It's not antenna diversity, so it actually does have 2 receivers inside. So it's actually how well it's implemented in software, I'm not quite sure. We'll do some videos where we compare the reception between the VR 006s and the VR D3s. I did bring them out the last time I flew. They seemed very similar as far as reception. So they do have pretty much all the same buttons on the side, all the same features. For some reason they decided on the Eachine VR D3s to not screen print the buttons on here, which is really dumb. So I'm probably eventually going to have to put a sticker on there. But they did do it on the VR 006s. I don't know why they decided to do that. So now they upgraded the 1S capacity from 500 milliamp hour in the 006s to 1000. So now you get a lot more viewing time. And the reason why you need a bigger battery is that this guy actually has a DVR on it. So there's a DVR location right here on the top where you press your SD card in there, and you control it all with this button. One press will start your recording, and then one press will stop your recording. There is nothing on the OSD that says that you're recording. What you have to look at is this light right here will actually blink, and that blinking will show that it is recording. And then it has an AV mode, an AV in, so you could go in and you could rewatch all your footage. There is no on-screen display on that, and I find it extremely clunky using that button to navigate. So if you long hold, you'll go through videos, and then you could press it to start, press it to stop. I did manage to use it to find one of my quads recently, so it's good enough to use to find out your last video and figure out where you crashed your quad. But to use it to show a buddy at a field that hey, check out this sweet footage, it's not the best for that. It's good for finding a lost quad, not best for navigating through, to have a little thumbnail of so you can see your OSD on what quad you're flying. All that stuff's not the greatest. So this guy has a 900 by 600 resolution on it, which is obviously I can't really test it, but from what I looked inside of the chassis, I tore it apart yesterday and looked inside. Very easy to open, and it has a really nice screen in it. So again, resolution is 900 by 600, while the VR 006s are a 500 by 300 pixel. So basically, I think it's doubled. It's almost quadrupled its pixels. So 500 by 300. 500 by 300 is 150,000 pixels, and then 900 by 600 is 540. So we're going up by almost 3 times. So about 3 times. A little bit over 3 times, about 3.5 times. But now, what is this screen? The screen is 900 divided by 600. It's a 1.5. It's a 1.5. So obviously that's the size of the screen, but it's not. So it's probably downsizing to get the 4x3. Because if you multiply 600, 4 divided by 3 is 1.3, right? So obviously a little bit something going on here. So it's probably 900 divided by 4 by 3 is 675. So obviously it needs to be a little bit bigger than that. So it's probably like 875 or something like that. If it was 16 by 9, it'd be 1.7 times 600. So it's definitely, that's 1,000, and this is 900. So it's definitely not 16 by 9. It's probably a 4 by 3. So it's got a 3-inch screen inside, same exact one as the VR006's. It has a little bit of an upgraded OSD. We'll show you that in a second. And one of the kind of the things that hurts it quite a bit, has pretty much all the channels, A, B, C, D, E. It doesn't have race. I think it does have race. It does have R in here. I don't know if it has F. I think it's got more than that. What we'll find is that a lot of this in this manual is actually just a rewrite of the VR006's, because it says that they're identical weight, and that is complete BS. So obviously with this one I have 2 antennas on this, only 1 antenna on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the antennas off really quick, and then we'll also get a look around the goggles as well as we compare weights. So obviously the Eachine 800Ds are way over as far as weight, so we're not even going to bother. So let's go ahead and tear this out. So we're in gram mode. So if you can't see that, it says 297.9, so about 298. It's 298, no antennas. And this is 218, no antennas. So it's about 70, well, 298, so it's about 80 grams lighter. And what is exactly 80 grams? 80 grams is probably the weight of this 654 cell. Yeah, so it's about the weight of this 454 cell. So that's quite a bit of weight. And the main thing that's very controversial about this design is the telescoping box. And basically how they do it is they just have a pad on the inside, a friction pad, and then this guy just moves the Fresnel in and out. But what that does is it causes them to have to remove the nose piece here. So if you see, this nose piece is missing. So what a lot of times, I have some of my friends at the field try this on, and the bridge of their nose, right, the ramp of their nose hits this piece right here, because there's actually no nose piece, because it has to be able to slide in and out. So it has to be basically flat here and slide in and out of this plastic. So it causes it to be extremely uncomfortable on the face. And right now, like, not the bridge of my nose is hitting, and the tip of my nose is hitting on the plastic. So what I actually have to do is I have to back it out, because for me this adjustment doesn't do really anything for me. So I think that was kind of pointless. So I wasn't that big of a fan about that. I do like how clear it is. It is a really, really nice screen. And another thing that you'll notice is that it has this signal strength, and it will tell you which receiver you are on. So I think there is a patch, because if you notice that we have both antennas unplugged, but yet it's still getting signal. There is again a search button. So we're scanning now at the bottom right corner. And you can see we're still getting a signal with no antennas, so there's still a patch inside of the chassis. So we're signaling here. This one's a 5732, I believe. It should be on 5732. This is still in megahertz, so it's not. It's still in frequency. It's not in channel. So yeah, 5732. Still have really good reception. We turn around, we start to get a little bit drop off. So there is definitely a patch inside, but you can see up there on the top, it says it's actually B. So again, I need to test more about these Eachines. So that's basically the signal strength. So you see it says they're B. That's basically the signal strength of that channel. So if we put a polar, let's say like this, and these, it comes with the same cheap ones as the VR006s. So there's actually a party going on up the street, so don't worry about that. So it comes with the same clover leaf a little bit and a directional patch. Really short, I like it. It fits great in my bag. It fits about the same as the VR006s. And we'll see that if we plug these in, now we're on A. So I believe it is actually working. So it says now that we're on A. So now it's switched to B. Now it's at A. And now when I turn around, it switches to B. When I turn back, so now it switches to A. So it is indeed switching. I don't know if it's actually doing anything, or somehow it knows in software that, hey, I'm actually not getting much reception back here, I'm going to just switch it around. So I don't know how true that is, because obviously it doesn't say A, B, and C, because it does indeed have a patch somewhere in order to pick up that signal, or it's just somehow getting that on the receiver itself with no antenna, some antenna on the inside of the receiver, which is possible, but it would have been nice if they said A, B, C. So C is for like close range where you don't even need to put on antennas, and it'll actually tell you that, and then it would say ABC, so it doesn't lead you to believe that they're lying to you. But it is indeed switching, so now it's on A. If I turn around, it eventually switches to B, and it does have a flicker there. Now that I see it, it's not very noticeable at all. Yeah, there's almost no flicker when it changes from A to B, and it changes really, really quickly. And you can see there that it has a signal strength. And then on our standard OSD down here at the bottom left, you can't see it, but we have our voltage, and the bottom right we have our frequency. Except for now it is white instead of red, a little bit better choice. So I do like that, and let's show you what you have. You have pretty much all the standard options on the... Oh, and another thing, see this? How this is black and white? So originally I thought that this was my quad, but when you start up the screen, it actually says there that you have to wait a few seconds for it actually to turn to color for some sort of display something to initialize. So if you have that, that is the issue. It's normal. So we have backlight selection, brightness, contrast, saturation, input, and DVR. Let's go ahead. I don't have any card in there. But basically, you just have a big screen that's kind of, let me see if I have a show in here. I think, yeah, it just says here what to do. So basically, you go in and you could select, sorry about that, need to erase some stuff on the SD card. So it says that you could go in and select, so basically you go in there, you hit this button and it has a little play time on the bottom. The video starts. You press it again to stop the video. You hold it and it goes to the next video. Not a very intuitive DVR. This one's got the best DVR I've used so far as built in, because it has this big screen that you could pick from all these different videos, and it shows you a thumbnail. So am I flying my tiny whoop? Am I flying outside? I want to show somebody. How do I go about showing somebody? So I have all of that stuff ready to show somebody. I have all of the images so I could tell which one's which. So obviously that I'm kind of disappointed, and actually getting kind of hot. And that is why you need that extra 1000 milliamp hour, because this one, obviously with the VR006s, I added a Eachine Pro DVR, which is honestly my best experience with the DVR, and I used a lot of its stuff that you guys are going to see on the channel. And so basically with this DVR, it allows you to go in, it has its own little, very similar to this, but you could actually change some of the settings. So I could set, for example, I could set, I want 720p, and I could disable the audio. Because the issue with this guy is that it keeps audio, so there's just this buzzing sound, and I have to go into post and change it. So overall, what are my thoughts? So this is about $20 more expensive than this guy. This guy is now $39 with the two antennas. Of course, it's antenna diversity, not true diversity. So with this guy, about another $10, and with a battery, it comes really close to the Eachine VR006s. And for me, the picture is very, very similar in the two. I can't really discern too much as far as the resolution. So if you're not going to mod anything, I would definitely go with this, with the Eachine VR DR3s. But I think that this guy is very compelling. But I'll probably end up modding this guy because it indeed has true diversity, and it does look like it does work. It has built-in DVR. Hey, I don't really look through videos to show somebody else too much. I'll have a laptop, or I'll show them YouTube to show them videos. It comes with two, it's got the bigger battery, lasts longer, comes with antennas, everything you need. It does have this if you do like that. Again, it's not that comfortable, but if you're beginning, you're not going to wear them for too long, right? You're going to be up in about a minute, you're going to be crashing about every minute and taking them off anyways. So it'll help you adjust for your eyes, the depth, and also be able to record and if you lose your quad on your last video, you'll be able to bring that up quickly and view it to find your quad. Now with this guy, does not have true diversity, has antenna diversity. Do not have a built-in DVR, you need to add it as a mod. It has a small battery, so if you add the DVR, it kills the battery. And but again, this one, it has way superior fit, especially if you put the nose guard down here. So overall, this is definitely the goggle I'm using right now. I do think about doing some mods on it and basically printing a new chassis and getting rid of this sliding thing, because the sliding thing for me doesn't really do much of anything at all. So I'm thinking about maybe the board in here is still extremely big, so I do think about taking this apart and making it kind of the form factor like this. If it was a form factor like this, then it would tick pretty much all the boxes for me. And also you could see that in here, it has a DVR module that's, sorry about that. So it has a DVR inside that's almost the exact same size as the Eachine Pro DVR. So one of the ideas that I was thinking about doing is buying another Eachine, or taking this one and taking the case off and putting it in here and then having it pop up. Then I'll have pretty much the exact same functionality of this guy with a better DVR experience, true diversity, larger battery. I could record in 720p with audio taken off, and I could just upload it directly to YouTube without having to go through post and change everything. So that is really why I think that this goggle would be great, especially for a modder, to be able to have everything at their disposal, a nice screen with a higher resolution than this one. So I'm actually going to try to shrink this, maybe even further than this guy, and then as I get closer, the pixels are smaller, so you're not going to see the pixels as much as this guy. Again, has antenna diversity, 1000 milliamp hour battery, has the option to put on DVR with it actually has a cable, so I just have to figure out which ones are the power and which one is signal and ground in audio. And then I could wire it up, and because it just has a simple AV in system, and then I could use, I'll probably have a hole here, and then have these buttons sticking out of the front, and then I could just mess with the buttons on the front. And obviously it looks a little nicer. I mean, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not a crazy fan of this. It doesn't apply to me, but it could apply to you. So for a $50 goggle, I think it's the best around goggle to start out with, especially if you're a newbie and you're not having it on your face so much. I do not think it's probably the best idea if you plan on flying a plane for like 30 minutes with this thing on your head. I mean, it's just slightly uncomfortable with that piece on there. And I actually find that the goggle actually tilts a little bit down on your face because of that lack of the nose hole. But for me, I mean, I could get used to it. You know, it has the padding on it. It seems to be far superior. As you can see, the padding is really, really big compared to the padding on this. So I think it has comparable comfort if you just could get your nose to clear. If you have a large nose, you might have an issue wearing them. Alright, that's pretty much it for this video. You guys are going to hear a lot more about these guys as I get back into RC engineering stuff. So you're going to hear a lot more about this, and I might pick up some more budget goggles and do some modding on this and do some modding on those and some modding on this guy. And so you guys could look at how I basically engineer these to be basically a perfect fit for me and maybe even for you. Might do some open source stuff here and there. So that is, I guess, my quick video talking about this guy. I've been using it for a while, and I do really, really like it. The main issue that I had with these guys was battery life. Now these guys have a little bit better reception, a little bit better clarity, and these are marginal, right? Definitely a longer battery life, but marginally better reception, marginally better picture, very similar comfort. Maybe if this guy had a bigger pad like this guy, that's a VR006's, then it probably would have been perfect. But I think I could live with that. So stay tuned for more information on this guy, and let me know if you guys pick this up. What your guys' thoughts are on these goggles versus the Eachine VR006's versus the Eachine 800Ds. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Take it easy. Peace.